Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I hope you all are doing well. Today, we are going to talk about the types of advertising. In our previous lecture, we have talked about the basic concept of advertising and prominent and important elements of advertising in the advertising communication process. And today, we will talk about different types of advertising. Advertising is a complex because is a complex phenomenon or process because so many different advertisers try to reach so many different types of audience. So depending on the type of product, depending on the type of advertiser, and depending on the type of audience, and even depending on the type of medium which is being used in the advertising communication process or in the advertising generally, the types of advertising changes. So all these changes play integral part in defining and explaining the advertising communication process. Okay, so if we talk about general basic types of advertisings, these are five or six important and prominent types of advertising which we can define and understand in coming few minutes. So first of all, let me tell you that there is the brand advertising. Brand advertising is the most visible type of advertising in national for the national consumers, or brand advertising has a focus on the development of long-term brand identity and image. Example, we can take the example of brand advertising like waves. When they say that waves नाम ही काफी है, डॉलन्स नाम है एतमाद का. Similarly, you say that jazz दुनिया को बता दो. So these taglines or particular kind of messages, they are actually used to make people aware about the brand, not the product. I mean, Waves is a brand, Jazz is a brand, or what I named Dollars is a brand, and the rest of the things like Samsung Mobile, like sorry, Waves refrigerator, Waves, you can say fridge, their ACs, their washing machines, their water dispensers. These are the products. Waves is a brand which is being propagated and through that advertising. So that advertising, the advertising which is used to bring awareness among the people regarding a particular brand, that advertising is called as brand advertising. Similarly, there is a retail or local advertising. Retail or local advertising, if we talk about literal meaning of retail or local advertising, we can say that a great deal of advertising focuses on retailers or manufacturers uh, that sell their merchandise in a restricted area. In the case of retail advertising, the message announces facts about products that they are available in nearby stores. The best example of retail or local advertising is the advertising of Metro. You know, Metro cash and carry, Punjab cash and carry. These are the like in Pindi and Islamabad, you can say even in Lahore, Afzal Electronics, even in Faisalabad, Afzal or Afzal, whatever it is. So these are the local and retailers, businessmen who are actually doing what they are collecting different kind of products into one place, and then they are advertising that all these products under these promotional rates and under these prices, they are available on our stores, and our stores are available on these places. Al Jannat, garments outlet, they have outlets on different places. So they come on local or national media, mostly on local media, using cable or some local newspapers. They inform you that they have these kinds of products, they are available on these outlets located into flan area. So local or retailer advertiser, they are not actually the manufacturers, they are the retailers who are buying products in bulk from other sources, from other agencies. Like I've given you the example of Afzal Electronics. They are not manufacturer of these mobile phones, LEDs and laptops. Rather, they are buying these products from different companies, and they are bringing all these things together in one place, and they are informing us that these things are available with us, and you can buy these products even in lesser price from the market, from their own factory outlets. So retail advertising is advertising which talks about the area or the shop where you can buy your products. Similarly, the next type of advertising is the political advertising. As the name suggests, this is one of the very simplest types of advertisings, wherein we find information about the politics, the politicians, politicians and the political parties. They want a goodwill picture in our minds. They want to clarify, they want to create good image, they want to bring a positive change in our minds regarding voting behavior. I mean, they want us to vote, they want us to support them, they want us to stand by them whenever they want to come onto the streets, or whenever they want to go into the election, or whenever they want to go to contest election on particular seat. So political advertising is a man oriented, political party oriented message, wherein the political party or the politician tries to tell us what services he or they are offering, or they have offered to us in particular area or overall in the country. So that is the political advertising. Similarly, the next type of advertising is the directory advertising. Directory advertising is another type of advertising, which is called directory advertising because people refer to it to find out how to buy a product or service. The best known form of directory advertising is the yellow pages. I mean, just like the classified pages on Jung and the news. There are other newspapers, I guess Dawn also have classified pages. And what are those classified pages? You go and see small 2 to 3 lines, 20 to 30 word long advertising messages, wherein you find Zarurat Rishta, where you find you want to sell your car, where you find you want to sell your motorbike, where you find messages regarding property, buying and selling. So all these things which are available in the form of directory in the newspapers or in particular journals, these are the examples of directory advertising. I mean, the messages are in the form of directory, just like we used to have in sometimes 4, 5, or 7 years ago. We used to have directories wherein we used to have phone numbers of different offices, different personalities of our area or of our district. So, in that sense, that directory advertising is a type of advertising which compile mm, multi-dimensional kind of ads about different kinds of products, services, and ideas. So you can find advertising messages about many things in one place. That's why they call them the directory advertising. Now, the next type of advertising is the direct response advertising. Direct response advertising can use any advertising medium, including direct mail, but the message is different from that of national and retail advertising in that it tries to stimulate a sale directly. In direct sale marketing, what happens? Suppose I just received a message from Royal Tag. A few months back, I bought a shirt or two from Royal Tag. Now they had my number. Now they are sending me direct messages via mobile phone, or if you have given your email address, they would give you direct messages via your email. So those messages related to some product, idea, or service, like what would be the example of service? I mean, you went to God forbid, you had to go to some laboratory, medical laboratory for blood test. So what happens? They take your number, they record your email address, and in coming days, what happens? They send you the during dengue fever days. They would send you the precautionary measures how to avoid dengue attack. That would be in the kind of public service messages. But at the same time, what they do, they send you the promotional messages that the like in these days we have the problem of this corona. They would send you messages that the corona PCR test is available on these places with this price, which is far more less than flan 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 or other kinds of medical laboratories. So all these kinds of messages which are directly sent to you for particular purpose, for particular increase in a in the sale of a product, that kind of advertising is called as direct sale advertising. Similarly, there is a type of advertising, namely business to business advertising. Business to business advertising includes only messages directed at retailers, wholesalers, and distributors, and from industrial purchasers and professionals such as lawyers and physicians to other businesses, but not to general consumers. Very simple. I mean, these kinds of messages are not for you or for me. These are the messages which are directed for the retailers. I mean, you and me, like wholesale retailers, you and me are the buyer of one product, and that would happen only once in a 6 months. Like you, if you want to buy, suppose this jumper or this upper, whatever you call it, or the sweater, you would buy it once in a season or twice maximum. But when the outfitters, when the Royal Tag people, when the other big brands of clothing, they want to sell their products in bulk. Yes, they will contact you. Yes, they will direct messages to you also. That would be brand and other type of advertising, but they would create some kind of messages which are actually directed for the businessmen, for the retailers who would buy their products in bulk, so that they can have, like I've given you the example of Afzal Electronics, like I've given you the example of other retailers like Metro, like Punjab Cash and Carry. They are not the producers, but they are the people who are receiving different kinds of products, and they are selling to the public one by one. So those messages which are directed for these kinds of retailers and businessmen are called as business to business advertising. And next type of advertising is the institutional advertising. Institutional advertising is also called as corporate advertising. These messages focus on establishing a corporate identity or winning the public over to the advertising organization's point of view. Many of the tobacco companies are running ads that focus on the positive things they are now doing, and ads for and different pharmaceutical companies also are also adopting that focus. No, the institutional advertising, these advertisers whose message is related to their institution, like the advertising of Punjab Group of College, advertising of UCP, advertising of Allama Iqbal Open University. Apparently, they are the education institutes, but they are gaining money. They are giving their services for on some price. So their messages, the messages that appear on national media, including electronic media and print media, and on Facebook pages, these messages are the example of institutional advertising, wherein the advertiser want to tell you about positive things about the institution. Similarly, the public service advertising, as I mentioned you earlier, public in while we were discussing the definition of advertising, public service advertising is the type of advertising which is actually sent to you. The messages those are sent to you by some identified sponsor, but those messages are not for selling particular product. Rather, those messages are creating some kind of awareness in you that these things are important. For instance, these days you see the calcium CSE 1000, the calcium tablets ad for the women. I mean, they are not actually propagating about their own product, but they are actually propagating on the need of calcium in women. And then they tell you that this message was sent to you for public service by CAC 1000 फला फला फला, जो भी यानी उस कंपनी का नाम है, जिस कंपनी की वो प्रोडक्ट है उसका वो आपको बताएंगे. Similarly, you can have example of Nestle. I mean, Shehzad Roy, he's a known person who always strive for education for underprivileged kids. तो वो ये कह रहा होता है जी कि पाकिस्तान के हर दूसरे बच्चे के अंदर जो है वो आयरन की कमी है, तो इस आयरन की कमी को जो है वो बेहतरीन खुराक से पूरा किया जा रहा है. और एंड में बात हो जाती है जी कि ये मैसेज आप तक नेस्ले की तरफ से पहुंचाया गया है. सो आई मीन दीज काइंड्स ऑफ मैसेजेस वेयर the message is induced in public service, these kinds of advertising are called as public service advertising. Then comes the interactive advertising. Interactive advertising is delivered to individual consumers who have access to computer and the internet. Advertisers use web pages, banner ads, and emails to deliver their message. In this instance, the consumer can respond to ad or ignore it. Now, this advertising is slightly different from the direct advertising. Now, in direct advertising, I told you that the Royal Tag company would send me the message, but there will be no feedback or response option. In interactive advertising, they would send you a message and they would ask you do something. They would ask you to give your feedback so that they can attract your attention, and they would try to keep you with yourself for the rest of the time, and particularly during some particular times. So that kind of advertising wherein the advertiser actually indulge you, involve you in a particular kind of message, that particular kind of process, that kind of advertising is called as interactive advertising. So guys, these are prominent types of advertising which I wanted to talk to you about. I hope you have learned new things about the types of advertising here. And still, if you have any questions, we can talk about all these questions later. Till next lecture, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.